The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast, is brought to you by, well, of course, you. If you want to learn more about how you can support the show, go to patreon.com/thearena_podcast.
Hit it! That's what I'm talking about. Wait!
Okay, now, from the beginning.
Hit it, boys.
Hey everyone, welcome into The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast. This is episode 85. I'm your host, Expat, along with my co-host, Burlyman Gaming on Twitch. Our other co-host, Turn-Based Carl, he is off this week. His brother is getting married, so congratulations to him. So Burly, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I finally got my, as I've told you off camera and stuff, I got my Steam Deck. Steam finally allowed the order to go through. They sent me the thing.
Nice.
So now I'm just waiting. It's saying shipping soon. So hopefully have some content on that soon coming. How are you, man?
Doing good. I had a kind of a surprise today before we started the show. So of course I always have to get some kind of surprise in my life. My wife and kids brought home a new cat. So right now Thomas is not very happy, but oh well, there's nothing I can do about it, I guess. It's like you just brought it right through the door, you know. It's like, hey, check this out. Isn't she cute? It's like, so hopefully everything works out. Hopefully it becomes another member of the family, and hopefully Thomas doesn't, destroy her. So right now she's in a cage. So of course, she's sleeping and she's stressed out from, being in a new environment and all, but hopefully things will work out. Other than that, I've been pretty good, man. Pretty good. So this last week was Golden Week here in Japan. So, just a lot of downtime, just relaxation, and a lot of public holidays through the week. So, looking forward to getting back to the morning show with you next week. So looking forward to that. So. Yeah, so we got a big show for you today. Of course, Square Enix, as usual, is in the news again. We're going to be talking about Square Enix. PlayStation is also in the news. They're looking for new employees. We're going to be talking about that. Prince of Persia is in the news. We're going to talk about that. And some games that were inducted into the Hall of Fame, the Video Game Hall of Fame. We're going to talk about that, along with the new game releases for the week, our picks of the week, of course. So a lot of stuff to get to on this episode. But before we get to the games that we've been playing this past week, here's a brief word about where you can find the podcast.
Before the crew discuss what they've been playing, this episode of The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast, and the post-show, in audio and video formats, will be going to Patreon in early access for one day after recording. So if you would like to support the show and become a patron at the entry Tier 1 level at $1 per month and get early access to every episode and post-show in audio and video formats, as well as watch or listen ad-free, please visit patreon.com/thearena_podcast for further details. Weekly on Sundays, the podcast will be uploaded to all free podcast services. Weekly on Wednesdays for the post-show, where you can find us on any podcast app for iOS or Android, Spotify, Amazon Music, and in video format on our YouTube channel, The Arena Productions. For the audio version, just download your favorite podcast app or open Spotify and search for The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast. Subscribe, follow us, post a review, and leave us questions, comments, and feedback if you like, if that feature is available there, and spread the word about the podcast. We also have a Discord called The Arena Podcast, where you can join and chat with the Arena Podcast community, and the podcast website is at thearenapodcast.podbean.com, where you can follow us and leave questions and comments as well. Finally, you can also follow us on Twitter at The Arena AMPGNP, as well as on Instagram at The Arena_podcast. Now, back to the show.
Okay, Burley, I'll start first. Yeah, this past week I played a little bit of Tribes of Midgard because that was,
Okay.
put on PlayStation Plus. I'm not feeling it, man. I'm not feeling it. I mean, I'm sure some people, especially in multiplayer, might have fun with that game, but
Hmm.
it's like I tried playing it in single player, and it reminds me of the character that I got when I first started. It felt like a cartoonish not Aloy. I'm sorry, Eivor from Assassin's Creed Valhalla, of
Ah.
course, but no armor, no clothes. Kind of, it almost seemed like a cartoonish style Eivor in a bikini running around in a field in a village, you know. And basically, you have to scrounge for flint and scrounge for tree branches and everything. But as you're doing that, you start getting attacked by all these other tribes members, and it's like you don't have anything but your fists to fight with. So it's like you die really easily. So I just wasn't feeling it too much when I was playing it. But I mean, maybe other people will enjoy it, but not me, I guess. The other games I was playing Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba. It's a big game, and it's coming to Switch in June as well. But it came out late last year. I'm playing it on PlayStation 5, and it's fun. It's more of Demon Slayer. So
Mhm.
yeah, I'm having fun with that. So I'm still in the first chapter after the beginning, cutscenes, and there's one like kind of like a boss, but he's like it's like a training mode that you have to learn how to use the controller and how to attack and how to parry and how to block with the sword and things like that. So yeah, that was fun. But now I'm playing Trek to Yomi on Game
Oh, how's
Pass.
that?
Uh it's interesting. Of course, the art style is very interesting. It's almost like it was like taken like photos were being taken of Edo period style villages. Like I would say this is probably
Hmm.
the early 19th century style Edo village types of villages that are out there, and it's all in black and white, and it's very Kurosawa-esque. So kind of like playing Ghost of Tsushima in Kurosawa mode. So of course you have all the kanjis at the beginning of a chapter, kind of like the old Kurosawa films. So it's a side-scrolling adventure. So you, of course, you start as a boy in a village, and you're being trained by your father, as a samurai, and you're kind of the lords of this village, and then the village gets attacked. But before that, of course, you learn how to use the controls and everything. And it's a side scroller. You're going from left to right, but also you're going forwards and backwards as well. So there's like, the visuals are pretty amazing in this, where you're walking or actually running down the steps of a temple, which is kind of like the training area, and then you can go back up. So you're going backwards and forwards as well as left and right side scrolling. So I'm in the second chapter now, but yeah, it's pretty fun to play. I'm enjoying it. I'm playing it in Japanese, but there's English subtitles at the bottom, of course. So I don't think there is an option to have English language. I think it's in Japanese with uh, subtitles, English subtitles only. And then there are four different like when it comes to the levels, or not levels, I would say, like kind of like um, how you start either like at easy or difficult. There's three different levels, and there's a fourth one, but
Mm.
you don't have the option to try on that fourth highest difficulty level.
Mm.
I guess you have to play through the game first, and then maybe
Then
like a
unlock
new
it.
game plus, or yeah, you have to unlock it later. And then when it comes to regenerating health, there are these little shrines all through the village that you go, and those are also save points. So you just go up to a little shrine and you press, I think it's the Y button, and your health, goes back to full, and then it's a save point. So, and the first boss is kind of, it reminded me of the Yakuza games. I mean, it's so
No.
yeah. I mean, just how the boss kind of seemed. He kind of seemed like a Yakuza, Yakuza with the samurai sword in his hand and all. But yeah, it's fun. I'm enjoying it. So anyway, what have you been playing, Burley?
I've been still playing up Lego Star Wars.
And how is
That's
that?
been that's been a lot of fun. The comedy in there is just great.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently I think I posted in the Arena Discord in a few places. Apparently they've made Jar Jar one of the best characters to
really?
play, because he has an attack that can cancel out combos and stuff. Because that's the thing, like, this game is heavily combat focused compared to a lot of the other Lego games. Because a lot of the other Lego games, it's like 1 or 2 hits and then you win and you kill the enemy. Right. This combat is quite the expanded boss. Like, characters you're fighting have giant multiple health bars and stuff. So I finished the prequel trilogy. I'm now, when I start back up, it'll be in A New Hope.
Okay, I see. Did you fight General Grievous as one of the boss battles?
Yes, I fought Grievous.
Uh-huh.
Oh yes, you fight him as Obi-Wan and a random clone trooper, because you got to have, because it's a co-op. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's like, who does Obi-Wan go with? A few clone troopers.
Yeah.
And they do make you, in that fight and in that area, you have to switch.
In episode 2, did they have Jango Fett?
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Oh yeah, Jango Fett is a big part. So is the son.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, I mean, there's so many of the Star Wars characters in this game, I'm sure. I'm looking forward to seeing all of those. So, yeah. Especially as you get into episode 7, 8, and 9. Yeah, I'm interested.
Oh yeah.
Especially 8 and 9, because obviously 8 and 9 were never released as a solo game by the Lego. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they come up with there. Yeah.
And I've also been playing Fire Emblem Three Houses, working on that.
Okay.
It's been a lot of fun going through there.
Mm-hmm.
But that game, if you want, you could sink the hours. Because I remember hearing, and it stopped me for a while, that a playthrough can take you like 70 hours. That's if you really get in depth with some of the side missions and stuff. And some of them I do, some I don't.
I see.
It all depends. But I'm still having fun.
Okay. Cool. All right. So let's get to our first topic. So obviously, Square Enix, they decided to sell the Tomb Raider franchise. They decided to sell the Deus Ex franchise, the Thief franchise. But who remembers Thief, right? Square Enix. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, Tomb Raider and Deus Ex. I mean, those are the big ones, obviously. So.
Well, those aren't just the biggest ones. They sold off the makers for Avengers and Guardians.
Oh, yeah. Besides those, But I mean, Square. Yeah, they're just getting rid of their Western developed games. So. Anyway, this is from Kotaku.com. I'm going to read a little bit of this for you. So the Embracer Group, a planet-swallowing massive video game publishers, that already includes the likes of Gearbox. Actually, they bought Gearbox, I think it was last year or the year before that. So
I think 2020 they bought Gearbox.
2020, okay. So announced the deal to purchase a number of studios and properties from Square Enix. So while the purchase isn't final, it's just a quote, an agreement to acquire, end quote, them until everything is signed off later in the year. The announcement press release says that if approved, it will be a $300 million deal. So for the $300 million, Embracer Group will get a hold of course, the studios Crystal Dynamics, Eidos Montreal, and Square Enix Montreal, the latter of which will presumably be in for a name change, numbering around 1,100 employees worldwide. So the catalog, quote, catalog of IPs, end quote, owned and or worked on by those studios, including Deus Ex, Tomb Raider, Thief, Legacy of Kain, and, quote, the continued sales and operations of the studio's more than 50 back catalog games, end quote. Also of interest, quote, Crystal Dynamics is actively working on several AAA projects, including the next mainline Tomb Raider game that will deliver next-generation storytelling and gameplay experiences, end quote. And we've already talked about how it's going to be running on Unreal Engine 5. So what really struck me, Burley, about this deal was Gearbox. The Gearbox deal was like 1.3 billion.
Yep.
Yeah. Whereas this deal is like 300 million. I mean, yeah, obviously, the Gearbox deal was, something different altogether, but 300 million? I mean, that's kind of on the cheap, don't you think? Your thoughts?
Yes and no, because if you take out Tomb Raider and Deus Ex,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of these other franchises that they get access to haven't been used in forever and haven't been, the big money makers. Tomb Raider is huge.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
And it did make money. I know Square Japan was not so happy. I think it was with the first Tomb Raider. They were not happy because it sold, I think, like in its like first week or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It was like over 1 million copies, and they were like, "That's a failure." And it's like, really?
Yeah.
You can't always count on more.
Yeah. Well, I think this is good for these studios, because obviously, I mean, Square Enix was kind of neglecting these studios and these IPs. I mean, Deus Ex, ever since I think it was Mankind Divided, that was the last one that came out, and it was just a dormant franchise, and now, since Embracer Group is going to, be in charge of the studios, I mean, we're probably going to see a revival of Deus Ex quite soon, alongside, of course, the Tomb Raider series, which will continue. And I think that's going to be, along with the Avengers games, I think Embracer Group is going to put a lot of capital into making sure they succeed, a lot more than what Square Enix was putting into them. Square Enix has other ideas, as we know. Yeah. I just think it's good on for, Square wants to go their own direction, and then of course, now that Embracer Group has these excellent IPs, now they can take them in a whole new direction and make them even better. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm glad these IPs. Hopefully, Embracer Group does well with them, because remember, they own Gearbox, and remember a game called Godfall?
Oh yeah.
Because
that game actually came out, Burley. It actually came out, didn't it?
Yeah, but just remember the state that thing came out, and
right.
how that game was like. Yeah. I can't blame Embracer on that fully, but you know what I mean. Like, that's the parts that worries me. I'm hoping that we get more, and that these studios, even though Embracer owns them, but they kind of are more just independent and be like, okay, show us what you guys can do with a Tomb Raider game. If you don't have Square hovering over you,
right?
What would you like to do with a Tomb Raider game? Pitch us your ideas. Okay, that's what you want. Okay, we'll give you a budget for this. There you go. Deliver us the game.
There you go. Yeah. I agree there. Yeah, we shall see. But anyway, I think it's a win-win for both. But I think it's even better for the studios that are going to be with Embracer Group now. We shall see.
Well, it is a win-win. What Square wants to do with the money, if you've heard, that's where it's like, why? They want to invest all that money into NFTs and blockchain. It's like, why?
Yeah.
You could have took that $300 million and just said, we're doing this to invest. We'd rather put the money into our Japanese franchises,
right?
Where we make our stuff. Like put it into Final Fantasy 14, 16, Dragon Quest 12.
Right.
Put it into all of that kind of stuff. But no, you got to go into the NFT market, because even though Ubisoft and all of these other companies have taken shit for it, You think you guys are going to be the ones? Like, Square's president, if you've seen the stuff on this, is just absolutely stupid. I do not get this. Like,
Yeah.
I don't get how I know they're a Japanese company. I don't get how you can see the reaction to NFTs in gaming. NFTs and other things may work well.
Yeah.
And I don't like them, but whatever. But in gaming, they're not going over well.
Burly, they just see yen.
Yeah.
That's all they see. They see yen.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all about the monetary, opportunities for them. But then again, we don't know if the NFT market is going to succeed. We shall see.
I have a feeling in gaming it's not going to succeed with all the backlash and shit.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. All right, next topic. So, talk about PlayStation here. PlayStation is hiring for an acquisitions manager, Burley. Are you looking for a new job? Maybe you can be their acquisitions manager.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for Sony to call me back. Sony, call me.
So okay, so this is from IGN, so I'm going to read a little bit of this article for you, and then we're going to discuss it. So, PlayStation is hiring a director of corporate development to help identify acquisition opportunities and bolster its collection of first-party studios. The move mirrors a hiring advertised by Xbox for a manager of gaming strategy and development, as both publishers seek to purchase increasing number of developers. That is, of course, and we're going to talk about that later, if the FTC allows it. So, as reported by VGC Video Games Chronicle, business analyst Robert Serrano spotted the job listing. The new director will lead Sony's corporate development team, which is responsible for, quote, identifying inorganic growth opportunities through acquisitions, investments, or joint ventures, end quote. So anyway, Burley, this was to be expected, I think.
Oh,
I mean, we knew that they were as soon as Xbox started doing this back last year, when the Bethesda deal went through, I'm sure they were thinking about this. And you know how Japanese companies, they take forever to think about something and then actually make something happen. Well, now it's starting to happen because, of course, now Xbox has got Bethesda and they're going to have Activision Blizzard. And, of course, Sony is trying to get Bungie. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. So they're kind of in crisis mode at the moment. Your thoughts?
Well, I don't know about crisis mode, but they are. This just shows you they are not done buying. They want to keep buying, and you know what? With what the team they have for doing it now is not enough. They need a manager to oversee and help with it. Yeah. Which no surprising.
Yeah, I think it's crisis mode. I mean, I just honestly, I mean. If it wasn't for Xbox making all of these deals, they would have sat on their laurels and they wouldn't have done any of this. But now it's like they have to. I mean, Bungie probably wouldn't have even happened if it wasn't for Xbox going after these big studios or these big publishing companies, I think it's in a sense, it's like a crisis mode. Of course, they're not going to say that, obviously not. And most people involved with Sony, they're not going to say that. But come on, I mean, they're trying to compete with Xbox, because they're being knocked off the top of the mountain right now, by Xbox at the moment. Of course, PlayStation still has the market share. They're still the leaders, but as we get farther on into this generation, they're going to have to be able to compete. So they're going to have to start acquiring more studios to counter what Xbox is doing. It's competition. I mean, I'm all for competition, So, but I still think it's kind of crisis mode, in a sense. But anyway. Any other thoughts? Your thoughts?
Well, I was gonna say Sony. I don't like. I know your thoughts on crisis mode. I think it's more Sony's just been resting on their laurels too long. Okay. Being like, we're just gonna keep doing things the same way. We're not gonna have to change. They're seeing what's going on and being like, okay, we kind of have to adapt.
Yeah.
And they're more afraid that Microsoft is just going to buy more companies that have had big titles for them.
Yeah, and particularly
And
maybe out here in this region, out here in Asia, like here in Japan. I mean, that's where they're probably going to be targeting next.
that they're gonna target.
Yeah.
Like I said,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised. Don't go for Capcom, Sony. It ain't worth it.
Yeah.
They're gonna go for Japan, but they're also gonna go for Western studios. I know
Yeah.
Activision probably really hurt them.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that really hurts Sony because Call of Duty was huge on PlayStation with the first day content, the exclusive content. So they're no longer gonna get that. I think they'll keep getting Call of Duty because Call of Duty sells so much and you paid a lot for Activision Blizzard. You want to get part of your money back, you keep that on PlayStation.
Yeah.
Because people will still buy it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think when it comes to Capcom, I think Capcom's going to stay, just an independent studio, or publishing company. Yeah, we'll see.
No,
I don't know.
I want Microsoft
I don't know,
to buy them, so I never have to buy a Capcom game.
Who knows? Microsoft might pick them up first, but I don't know about that. We'll see. But yeah, so yeah, PlayStation's in the mix. So, hiring an acquisitions manager. So, yeah. So it's going to be a stressful job for sure. Yeah. So Burly, good luck. Good luck on that, man. So I would not want that position. That's for sure. So.
Oh no, like, and all kidding, that's not an easy position
because
you've got to deal with, you got to keep buying North American. You also got to keep buying Japanese, but you don't have the money in the bank that Microsoft does.
Right.
That's the problem. Like,
it's David versus Goliath, basically. David versus Goliath when it comes
if Sony's other divisions were doing well, like I can't remember on their electronics how they're doing there for like TVs and shit. What?
Well, I mean, it's hard to say because the thing about Japan is there's consumer protectionism out here in Japan. Well, so you can't get a Samsung TV out here in Japan. You can't. I mean,
but I meant worldwide.
Yeah, they're probably losing. But here in Japan, they're doing quite well because you can only buy Japanese products pretty much. Yeah. So, yeah, because all the restrictions that on other countries' products coming in, it's like you can't find a Samsung TV in like Yodobashi or anywhere else. Yeah, they're non-existent.
Yeah.
Okay, next story. Burly Prince of Persia. Yeah. Sands of Time remake changes developers. So, yeah. Let's talk about this. This is from the GameSpot article. So I'm going to bring this up here. So, yeah. Ubisoft Montreal, which created the series, is now developing the remake. So, hey, Burly, there you go. Right up your alley there. Montreal, yeah. Prince of Persia, the Sands of Time remake has undergone a major change. Ubisoft confirmed today that development has shifted to Ubisoft Montreal, the original creators of the Sands of Time series. Previously, Ubisoft Pune and Ubisoft Mumbai were developing the title. The developers at Ubisoft Montreal will, quote, take the time they need to regroup on the scope of the game, end quote, in an effort to produce the, quote, best experience, end quote, possible. As for when the game will launch, Ubisoft said it'll debut, quote, when it's ready, end quote. So what does that mean, Burly? What do you think? When it's ready?
Well, let's just talk. Ubisoft has they have not been doing as well as they want. Like some of the releases did not make them as much money as they were hoping. Like Far Cry sold, but Far Cry sell as much as they wanted and expected to? I don't think so.
Yeah.
Like Assassin's Creed made the money, but that's their big money maker.
Yeah.
But this thing's had trouble development. We've lost we haven't heard anything about this for what, like a year and a half.
Yeah.
Like this, like I'm glad to see the original people that worked on it, the original studio,
Mm-hmm.
is getting on it. So maybe they have a better shot of making this best. This game
Yeah.
ain't coming until 2024 at the
Okay.
earliest.
I see. So refresh my memory, Burley. Why did Ubisoft Montreal give up the development of this in the first place?
Uh,
Why
I
was
can't
it
even
that these other development studios took over? Do you know?
I can't even remember why they took over. I don't even think we knew which studio was working on it. To be honest, because it's been so long since since we've heard anything on this.
Well, Ubisoft
But
Pune and Ubisoft Mumbai were actually the ones
one's
working
working
on
on
it.
it.
So yeah, but yeah.
I think they had Montreal working on other projects, and now Montreal is either freed up or they just realize, okay, we need to get put it in these guys' hands. These guys can finish this and just get this thing out.
Mhm.
Because they've taken a lot of flack because they've given no updates. And the problem is they've done the cardinal sin of announce the thing too freaking early.
Yeah.
Announce the game when you know you can get it out.
Yeah.
That's like I hate this. We're gonna announce it and we're gonna hype you, give you nothing, tailor back, announce again, and then slowly do this. No, don't do this same old song and dance. I'm tired of it.
Song and dance. I like that analogy, Burla. The song and dance. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about a game that has a lot of songs and dances in it pretty soon here. Yeah. Because one was inducted into the Video Game Hall of Fame. And this story coming up next, our next topic, it's going to make me feel really old, Burley. It's going to make me feel really old because I remember this game when it first came out.
Ooh.
And I remember playing this at the arcade all the time. So good old Miss Pac-Man. Yeah. So Miss Pac-Man clears the path to World Video Game Hall of Fame. So this is from AP News, and so I'm going to read a little bit of this for you. So more than 40 years after blazing a trail for female video game characters, Miss Pac-Man was inducted Thursday into the World Video Game Hall of Fame, along with Dance Dance Revolution. There you go, Burley. The Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time, and Sid Meier's Civilization. The Hall of Fame considers electronic games of all types each year: arcade, console, computer, handheld, and mobile. Inductees are recognized for their popularity and influence on the video game industry or pop culture over time. So the Miss Pac-Man arcade game was released in 1981 as Midway's follow-up to Pac-Man, which entered the hall as part of the inaugural class of 2015. So 1981, Burley. So you were just you were still in another life.
Yes. I was helping Thanos.
I was in junior high school at that time. So anyway, so the Pac-Man sequel reimagined the main character to acknowledge the original game's female fans, according to the Hall. After selling 125,000 cabinets within the first 5 years, it became one of the best-selling arcade games of all time. Yeah, I remember playing this at the very beginning. And I think this spawned a lot of, when it came to the arcades, a lot of female gamers coming into the arcades to play this too. And it was an inspiration to a whole new generation of gamers, especially in the arcades and all. And it was a pretty cool upgrade to the original Pac-Man game in a sense. So it was fun to play. So, hats off to Miss Pac-Man. Your thoughts? And on the other inductees, Ocarina of Time, of course. Your thoughts on that, as well as Sid Meier's Civilization. What do you think, man? And Dance Dance Revolution,
I'll go one by one. Miss Pac-Man, it definitely deserves to be in here. It was such a huge thing. And they did find out a little update to an old story we talked about, the whole Pac-Man collection. Mm-hmm. There's a whole lawsuit going on about the whole rights with Miss Pac-Man. That's why that's not included in the Pac-Man collection, because we were all wondering, I'm like, how can you not include Miss Pac-Man? Because because I think that thing like made more money for a time. It made more money than the original.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was huge.
It was
Miss
very
Pac-Man.
huge. Yes, it was huge. Yes. So
Like
Pac-Man was a phenomenon in its own right, but Miss Pac-Man just
Chick
bolstered it.
Pac-Man.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So yeah.
No, glad to see she's getting in.
Yeah.
Ocarina of Time, one of my favorites
Mhm.
in the Zelda series, definitely deserves to be in there.
Mhm.
If you're gonna play it now, kids or anyone, the 3DS version. That's the version I beat.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
you have a 3DS, buy it on the eShop soon before, because you don't have that much. You only have limited time to get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, grab it. It is a great version, runs well and all that.
Mhm. Yeah.
Uh,
Dance Dance
DDR,
Revolution. Yeah.
yeah, I can understand it be there. I just have a little
Yeah.
bias to the game.
Uh-huh.
Quick little story. When I was in college,
Yeah.
I lived at a house a little close to the campus, and this was when I was working at the college because I had a co-op
Yeah.
for 8 months working in the IT department there,
Yeah.
and I had to work afternoons, so I'd be working from like I think it was 1 till 11
Mhm.
at night.
Yeah.
So, but I would go be asleep, and this was at like 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm just trying to sleep because I woke. By the time you come home from work, you want to eat and do a few things after you come home,
Yeah.
and then like I'm trying to sleep in, and you've got a girl, one of the other roommates. She just puts the DDR on.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the sound from the TV, but all you can hear is stop, stop, stop. And she's not too far from me. I'm like,
Mhm.
ugh. I'm just glad I was not hung over, because if I was hung over, I would have like
Yeah.
would have broke the goddamn pad.
Yeah. Just a little story I want to go back to about Miss Pac-Man. I just remember
Yeah.
when I was a kid, because it came out in 81, and I was 14 at the time. So I remember going with my parents because we lived in San Francisco. We would go to Reno because my parents used to like going up there to gamble and watch a dinner show, and so I would go with them during the summer vacations. And we would stay in the hotel casinos there, and most of the hotel casinos had like a video game arcade. And most of the kids, because of course the kids could not go into the gambling halls, in the casinos, and so most parents would drop their kids off into the video game arcades and just leave them there. And my father would give me like 3 rolls of quarters because each game, was a quarter, like 25 cents.
Yeah.
And so give me a few, rolls of quarters, and just for like a few hours while they went to the casino, I would be playing Miss Pac-Man or like Defender, or games like that, and just having a ball, just having a lot of fun, and just learning the patterns of each level, and things like that. Yeah, I just remember those times. Those are fun times, and playing Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man. And of course, Galaga was another cool arcade game at that time as well. So, yeah. So, fond memories of that time. And of course, Miss Pac-Man was a part of that. So, good
All
stuff.
right.
Yeah. Okay, so our next topic, this one I
Was that all the games on the Hall of Fame? Just making sure we didn't miss any.
and Sid Meier's Civilization was the last one.
Civilization
Yeah,
has those are such fun games.
yeah,
But
yeah,
just be warned, if you're gonna sit and play one, you're putting hours.
yeah, yeah.
I remember the one that came to the 360.
Hmm.
I forget what it was called. I remember me and 3 other buddies, and we just sitting all at our house with the 360 Xbox
Yeah.
Live and just sitting there. I remember we took 3 hours and just played a game, see who could beat each other. And we're all going for the different things, and then I think we had one AI,
Hmm.
and you know who the AI leader was?
Who was it, Burley? Enlighten
Gandhi.
us. Gandhi.
Gandhi.
Okay.
And Gandhi, if you don't
Nice.
know, in
Yeah.
some of them they make Gandhi quite like war driven. It was like a bug, I think, in the first Civilization, and
Really?
they've kind of kept it as like kind of a nod that you can do stuff and it triggers it.
Yeah. And so then they rigged Genghis Khan to be peaceful, right?
I don't think Genghis Khan was peaceful.
Well, if Gandhi is going to be warlike, then of course, like Genghis Khan could be like a priest or something. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So, okay. Next up, our next topic. I threw this in kind of before we started the show, and I do have like a little bit of comments on this on our YouTube channel at the Arena Productions. So please go and check that out as well. But yeah, it looks like Sony says it won't make Bungie games exclusive, but then the FTC may not be convinced. So this is from PCGamer.com. I'm going to read a little bit of this for you, and then we're going to discuss it. So, yeah, this just dropped, yesterday. So Sony's acquisition of Destiny 2 Studio Bungie may have hit a speed bump, as the information reports that the U.S. Federal Trade Commission has launched an, quote, in-depth investigation, quote, of the deal. The investigation began at the end of April, according to the report, and is apparently focused primarily on the possibility that Sony could make Bungie games, including the Destiny series, exclusive to PlayStation consoles. Bungie said immediately after the acquisition deal was announced that it will continue to operate essentially independently and, quote, drive one unified Bungie community, end quote. So the FTC seems to have questions, however, and has reportedly asked for more information from both Sony and Bungie to determine what sort of incentive Sony has to withhold some or all of Bungie's games and services from other platforms. The process could delay the closing of the deal by as much as 6 months. So basically, as the story or as this article goes on, it's talking about how the FTC has basically been emboldened due to President Biden issuing an executive order in July of last year, calling on the FTC to enforce antitrust laws, quote, fairly and vigorously, saying that his administration's policy, quote, to enforce the antitrust laws to meet the challenges posed by new industries and technologies, end quote. So it looks like the FTC is going about their business, but just my personal view on this, it's kind of ironic in a sense, because why wasn't the Bungie deal targeted, or I'm sorry, not the Bungie deal, the Bethesda deal with Xbox targeted more as this Bungie deal is being targeted. Obviously, the FTC is going to be, vigorously looking into the Activision Blizzard deal that Xbox is doing, but them doing this now with Sony and Bungie, it's kind of ironic, because why didn't they do that with the Bethesda deal as well? But anyway, your thoughts, Burley?
That's all political bullshit. That this wasn't investigated more, and lobbyists and shit like that.
Well, it all is. Yeah,
yeah. It's all bullshit. And let's just like, you know what? The FTC can say what they want. Who cares if they are making stuff for Sony?
It's going to go through. It's going to go through. It's
Who's to care? The FTC if they're going to make stuff only for Sony, or stuff for everyone. Who cares?
But let me throw this question at you, Burley. Will Destiny become a PlayStation only game on PlayStation consoles exclusively?
I don't think so. No,
I think
you'll have.
Okay.
I think what'll happen is there's going to be because I think there was some exclusive content for Destiny. One, either Destiny 1 or Destiny 2, where PlayStation will get exclusive content, Microsoft won't get that content, and it's also a way for Sony to play ball and say, because Destiny is a big franchise, people still play it and everything. Yeah, it is a way to use as a bargaining chip onto Microsoft. We know you have Call of Duty. Try and take this away from us. Destiny vanishes. You know what I mean? Because they're all playing their games. They're all and all that shit.
Yeah, so I think it could become like with what Call of Duty is going to become for Xbox.
Yeah,
Destiny is going to become the same for PlayStation. But I mean, it's going to go through, man. I mean, it might stall the acquisition, like it said, it
Mhm.
could be like an additional 6 months that they have to wait before it actually gets through.
Yeah.
And the same could happen with Activision Blizzard, but I mean, they've already passed one hurdle already because the board of directors passed,
Yeah.
the acquisition deal for Xbox and Activision Blizzard. But I mean, it's gonna happen, So this is just another example of the government, trying to, raise their fists and show that, okay, we're in control here, and these companies, you know, they have to, be at our whim in a sense, and follow all of these regulations, and so
Oh,
it's
it's actually been revealed who the whistleblower on this stuff was.
yeah.
A guy named Palpatine,
Palpatine.
Senator Palpatine.
Yeah, he said that in the Lego Star Wars Skywalker saga, right? Yeah,
Yes.
it's a kind of a yeah, it's
I am.
yeah, it's kind of one of those like what do you call them, like Easter egg type of things.
Oh, just things in the background.
Yeah. There's like a little like a poster there. It's like FTC is written on it.
I am the Senate.
I am the Senate. Not yet. I love that part. Yeah, it's like, good old Mace. He's like, not yet. Yeah.
Oh, after playing that game, it's actually made me want to watch episode 3.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. Okay, so our topic of the show. We're going to talk a little bit about Battle Royale tonight. So my son, he's really into Apex. He's a big Apex player. And of course, Apex Season 13 is coming out on the 10th. So I thought we'd talk a little bit about, how Battle Royale has been a thing for the past 5 years now. Fortnite has, been a big thing since like 2017. And now, of course, with they're back on mobile in a sense, so iOS and everything. But yeah, I mean, is Battle Royale, has it reached its apex? It's kind of interesting. I put that line in
Yes.
there, for Apex Legends. But anyway, I mean, you've got Apex. You had like, towards, in the beginning, we kind of had PUBG was, kind of a big thing as well. But Fortnite kind of just blew it all up. And then, of course, Apex came after that. And of course, now we, with Call of Duty Warzone and, all these other iterations of the Battle Royale genre.
Valorant.
Has it reached its apex, or are we still like in the growing stages? I don't know. I kind of think it's still in the growing stages. I mean, yeah, of course Fortnite is big, and you have all these skins. Of course, you have the Doctor Strange skins and everything now. And but I don't know. What do you think, Burley? I mean, have we reached the apex, or is it only going to go downhill, or could it still be like a work in progress when it comes to seeing more new IPs of the Battle Royale genre come out throughout this generation? What do you think?
Oh, we're still going to have more IPs come out for it because look at all these companies that are chasing. Like Battlefield had Battle Royale modes on the last Battlefield.
Mm-hmm.
Remember how that game came out?
Yeah.
Like, there's so many people. Ubisoft is doing it. All these companies, because they see the money that Fortnite and Call of Duty Warzone and Apex and some of these other games, all the money that this ranks in.
Yeah.
So they think we can just get in and get our cut.
Yeah.
But the problem is they don't realize how much work you have to do. And then you've got to try and get all these people that are big on these games. You got to try and get them out of them and go to yours.
Yeah.
There's always going to be game publishers and developers. They're always going to make stuff to try and get in here.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we've hit the apex with it because we're going to see more and more of these games are just going to be dying off, and we're literally just going to be left, I think, with the only ones having the popularity and still being around: Fortnite, Apex, and Warzone.
Yeah.
Until one of these three makes a stupid, a stupid decision and changes something so huge where it divides the player base.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's, you've had so many different battle royale genre games come out. I mean, do you remember the Darwin Project? Do you remember that?
Uh, Vaguely.
Yeah, vaguely, of course. Yeah, because it never saw it saw the light of day, but it's like there was practically zero player base. I mean, it was going up against Fortnite and all the other big guns like this, like Apex and all.
Okay.
Do you remember Hyperscape, the Ubisoft game? It came out, I
Yeah.
think, last year. That
And then
was
died.
like it died within like a couple of weeks. The player base just died off.
Well,
It's like the player base is really just situated in these big like Fortnite, Apex, types of games. And I think it's going to be very hard for these new IPs to come through. Even Overwatch. I mean, a lot of people have been saying a lot of things about Overwatch too, but believe me, when it comes to these leagues, and that's one of the other reasons I think it still hasn't reached its apex, because of esports. I mean, these games are huge in esports. I mean, like Apex, of course, and with the Overwatch League that they have going on, and of course with Fortnite and all, esports makes like billions of dollars a year. And I think it's just going to continue to grow with more more organizations being established and have more teams coming out in many different countries. So I don't know. What do you think, Burley?
Yeah, I think you're right on that. Like, the only way you're gonna get, if you come in with one, you make a new one of these battle royale games, you have to have something that the other games do not have, that they've been clamoring. Like, let's say the player base for Fortnite, I've been clamoring for, I don't know, being able to level up my weapons.
Yeah.
Let's just say that I don't play these games, so let's
Yeah.
say if they've been clamoring for that and they've been not deciding not to put that in, unless you're doing that, something like that, where it's a feature that people have been really requesting and you really put your heavy into that, there's no point in going into this. This is just a lost leader to get. I would rather you put your focus into something else. Here's Overwatch 2.
Yeah.
This game people have not been happy with.
Yeah.
From what I've heard from the beta that came out, they are not too pleased.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. But what about? Let me ask you this one, Burley, because you're a big streamer. What about the streaming community when it comes to battle royale? I mean, has it taken a dip, or is it still like a growing community?
Oh, it's still huge. Because you've also got like the giant big streamers like Ninja and stuff like that. So you're always going to have people doing Fortnite and all that.
Right.
But yeah.
But
the thing is, like, everyone, you get all these little people that all go in thinking, because I've seen so many people that are like, they're like, oh, Fortnite, Apex are popular.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily huge on this, but let's just go in there and try and grab the market.
Yeah.
But they never do. And it's like I've always told people, unless you really like these games and you can talk about it a lot.
Yeah, well, it's the sense of it's a sense of community. I mean, it's a sense of people getting together online, and especially on the live streaming, platforms like Twitch or like on YouTube. I mean, and getting together and playing these. And, I know some streamers, and I know you do as well, that, that go in just go in blind, and they've never played the game before, but they learn to enjoy it and to love it. And some are just addicted to some of these games. Like, I know a streamer that's completely addicted now to Apex Legends, and she had never played the game before, but now she's like playing it almost every stream that she does. So I mean, yeah,
Oh yeah.
you know. So I just don't see this genre of game dying anytime soon. I think we're going to be seeing whether or not we get new iterations of these, games. Like, of course, we're getting Overwatch 2, and I know you were saying that it's been getting bad publicity and all, but I still think the Overwatch League is going to be big, and then of course with
Oh
Fortnite,
yeah.
that's always going to continue to to develop and to grow, as well as Apex, I think,
Oh yeah.
as we
No,
go along.
those ones will still grow.
Yeah,
It's just that in the matter of new games,
yeah,
they all these companies save your money, save your time, save your effort. Just
yeah.
don't go into these. Yeah, because unless you can make, you got to have a damn good quality, because not only you can make a better game than Fortnite, Apex, and all that,
Yeah,
still doesn't mean you're going to get the community, because you now have to then, even if you have the better game, you've got to get influencers and bigger gamers and Twitch streamers and all that to try and hope to latch onto your game
hmm,
and hope they can bring their audience.
yeah, 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 definitely. So anyway, yeah, that was our topic of the show when it comes to, of course, games like Fortnite and games like Apex and Overwatch and these battle royales. And have they reached their apex yet? I still don't think they have. I still think they've got a long ways to go, and before people start moving in other directions, and gamers and game developers. But we'll see.
Yeah.
We shall see. All right, so now it's time to talk about the new game releases and our picks of the week. So you can check out the week's new game releases at releases.com, and I'll put the link below for you there. So I'm going to go ahead and show my game, Burly. So let me get to that real quick here. So let me go ahead and get it here for all of you video viewers. So my game is, of course, Evil Dead, the game.
Groovy.
So, based on the Evil Dead franchise and characters created by Sam Raimi, Robert Tappert, and Bruce Campbell, the game casts players against the forces of evil that have been unleashed from the Necromicon Ex Mortis.
Necromano.
Yeah, Necromano, yeah. With sights and sounds inspired by the films The Evil Dead 2, Dead by Dawn, and Army of the Darkness, as well as the Star's original Ash vs. Evil Dead television series. Work together as a team of 4 survivors, exploring, looting, crafting, managing your fear, and finding key artifacts to seal the breach between worlds, or take control of the powerful Kadarian demon to hunt Ash and his friends while possessing dead ties. So the environment and even the survivors themselves as you seek to swallow their souls. So it comes out on May 13th for PC, PS4, PS5, Switch, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X. So yeah, this just reminds me of Dead by Daylight. I don't know. What are your thoughts, Burley?
Oh, this is Dead by Daylight. Friday the 13th, and all those other games. This is it's the Dead by Daylight. Not Dead by Daylight. Evil Dead skin.
Yeah.
That,
Yeah.
Which I hope the game's good. I've got buddies that are mine that have this ordered. I can't wait to see them try it out, because I've not played one of these games.
Cool. All right, Burley, what's your pick of the week?
My pick of the week is Source of Madness.
Cool.
Source of Madness is a dark action roguelite where you use a wide variety of magic against an infinite host of ever-changing monsters. Play as a newly initiated acolytes at the Tower of Knowledge. Humanity barely hangs on by a slim thread. Coming Wednesday, May 11th to PC, PS4, PS5, Switch, Xbox One, and the Xbox Series.
This kind of reminds me of Dead Cells, in a sense.
Yeah, I was going to say, this looks like Dead Cell. You get the huge Dead Cells vibe. I really do like the art style. And then there in the inventory there, it reminds me of Diablo, socketing your equipment and all that.
Yeah.
Putting your equipment on, so.
Yeah. Some pretty difficult boss battles, I would imagine, in this game
Oh,
too.
I'm
So,
sure.
yeah. It's it's like in the side scrolling, yeah, in a sense, yeah, and traversing.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. So cool.
Ooh, that's a big. That's gonna be a big boss there, I guarantee.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So out on May 11th. So yeah, Source of Madness looks pretty cool. All right,
Yeah.
so those are the picks of the week, of course. So you can check them out at releases.com. For all you video viewers, the link was below there. So yeah, good stuff. All right. All right. So a few announcements to make. Of course, we are in the process of recording. After this episode, we're going to be recording our Picard season finale. We're going to be getting that out of the way. And of course, we're
Yes.
also going to be, with our Warp Factor 10 show, we're also going to be recording weekly recap and reaction episodes to Star Trek Strange New Worlds. Which episode 1 is coming out soon. We're going to be recording that. And of course, our Moon Knight season finale, we're going to be recording next week as well when Carl gets back. So the three of us are going to be doing that together. So stay tuned for that. And one little bit of information about the post show. So I put this up on our Patreon for all of you patrons and all. Because we're doing these other shows, the post show will not be a weekly show from now on. We will be doing it. We will still be doing it, but only occasionally because of our schedule when it comes to the pop culture series that we're doing, when it comes to Star Wars, Star Trek, Marvel. So, yeah, the post show will not be every week, but we will let you know when we're going to be recording another post show episode. So stay tuned for that as well. So, anyway, okay. So, next up, it's time to talk about what we're going to be playing this next week. I'm going to continue with Trek to Yomi. I'll probably play some more of Demon Slayer as well. So, how about you, Burley? What are you going to be playing?
Well, my Twitch chat's gonna love me.
Mm-hmm.
Sifu, and I'm gonna be an idiot and put on loots.
Uh-huh.
So I'm gonna be dying a lot and get my ass kicked, as well as like Lego Star Wars. But some off time on my personal, I end up picking this up on came on sale. Ring Fit.
Nice. So for all of you video viewers, yeah, he's showing you the Ring Fit, yes, for the Switch, yes.
Yeah.
Nice, good stuff.
That I'm interested to really try and see how that is. Yeah.
Cool. Oh yeah, and obviously, of course, Carl, our Game Pass ambassador, he's off going to his brother's wedding this week. So, Burley, yeah, what games are we getting for Game Pass this coming week?
This coming week, you're getting Danganronpa 2 Goodbye Despair Anniversary edition May 10th.
Nice.
And then also you get Idea Chronicles Rising on May 10th.
Mm-hmm.
And for another game on May 10th, This War of Mine, the final cut, coming May 10th. And for all you NHL fans, NHL 2022, May 12th.
All right. So those are the Game Pass games coming this week. So thank you so much, Burley. And of course, please, for all of you video viewers, the link below, please go and check out our Patreon. We have a ton of content on there. So if you want to watch any of our content early and ad-free, come on over and think about joining our Patreon. So at patreon.com/thearena_podcast. And of course, after early access, once our videos go public, it goes to our YouTube channel, of course, at youtube.com/thearenaproductions. So please be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons and watch our videos in its entirety. It'll really help us out. We're trying to reach YouTube Partner. So thank you so much for all of your support. We really appreciate it. And of course, we have a Twitter, of course, over at on Twitter at the Arena AMPGMP. That stands for a multi-platform gaming news podcast. So come and talk to us there. Carl is usually on there, so you can chat with him, as well as myself and Burley. So come and check us out there. And of course, finally, we have a Discord. So the Arena Podcast Discord, where you can come and talk to us about some of the topics that we discussed during the episodes of the podcast. as well as leave questions and comments that we might be able to use and give you a shout out on our next episodes. So come and check out our Discord. So the Arena Podcast Discord. All right. So to end the episode, our indie recording artist spotlight. So this week's spotlight is on Modern Aquatic. Formed in 2015 and based in Cincinnati, Modern Aquatic fuses indie rock and dream pop into a groundbreaking, unique form of upbeat music that's riff-based, heavily melodic, and multi-layered. From their album titled Laurel Leaves, and the song is called CBL. So this has been the Arena Multi-Platform Gaming News Podcast, episode 85. I've been your host, Expat, along with my co-host, Burly of Burlyman Gaming on Twitch. So we hope to catch you in the next one. So take care, everyone. Peace
Take care, everyone. Bye.
out.